And we are wrestling with WWE Elimination Chamber um, review. Took place last Saturday in Port Western Australia at Port Stadium. Um, Attendance was 52,590, and which is actually not as much as it could have been because the capacity is 61,000, and then it just goes up. 65, 70,000, 73,000 is the a record attendance. So they
And
kind of, huh?
you gotta also take into account the space that gets taken up for seating. So you can't really judge that judge at least in pro wrestling event attendance based on an arena's full capacity for non pro wrestling events.
Well, what I'm going with is that they could have easily fitted another 10,000 people in this arena. I wonder if that will play a factor if whether or not they go again. I'm not entirely sure what the setup was as well, so maybe that's what a looky look after this. Um, your thoughts on the show as a whole?
It started out with a bang and it went out with a whimper.
Hmm.
There was uh, the women's chamber best match of the night. Um, Everything else was bland and predictable. Um, I I don't think Rhea got the best match she could have out of Nia Jax. Um, was it a mistake to make that match the main event? That's a very it's a very subjective thing to talk about because it, was she given that spot just because it's her home country?
100%.
Uh, and does that taint this match to begin with? Uh, because it didn't turn out to be as great as some would expect.
Well, we'll get into it. I don't necessarily think it was a bad show. You know, like I said 2 weeks ago, it was pretty cut. It's a pretty cut and dry um, thing, and it was exactly what we thought it was going to be: cut and dry, very predictable. Not necessarily bad, but predictable. And that brings us to the first match, the Elimination Chamber match for the women's World Championship match, number one contendership for WrestleMania Extra Large. Becky Lynch defeated Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Naomi, Rachel Gonzalez, and Tiffany Stratton in 32 minutes and 15 seconds. Um,
Yeah,
First and foremost, it was definitely a titty time because the people were popping for Tiffany Stratton. Um,
yeah.
They were hot for Stratton.
Yeah, that's surprising. I she's definitely picked up a lot of momentum, especially in these past number of months.
Do you think that it
But
was just an occurrence, or is this a pattern?
well, she she got just as much of a reaction on SmackDown,
Okay then.
and that the thing about when something like this happens is that when it does happen, you know it's genuine.
Because she's a heel.
Yes, she she was getting over without having to be put over.
Right. And I mean, she was put over a bit in this match. I mean, this was definitely, if there's one person to talk about in this match other than Becky Lynch, it's definitely Tiffany Stratton. She
I
had
might I might say Raquel Gonzalez, but for a different reason. Poor Raquel.
who are you talking about? There was no Raquel in this match. Um, you know, obviously, Liv Morgan always the bridesmaid, never the bride when it comes to these situations. Um, but yeah, I think WWE has an unintentional baby face that the crowd has just chosen to like for whatever reason.
Well, I think that's probably a good thing considering since since now everybody from Damage Control has turned on Bailey, including Dakota.
Yes.
And on SmackDown they alluded to Jade, but having someone like this, like Tiffany, essentially a female $1 million man gimmick, just with titties. Uh, I like seeing something like this happen because then you really have to see how they can adapt to that reaction. And yeah, they did something to earn it in the eyes of the audience.
Right.
Now, what are they gonna do to make sure that they keep earning it?
I think,
And,
obviously we're on the road to WrestleMania, so, Stratton is going to be a little bit uh, taken to the wayside. But when, WrestleMania season is over, I think that's where we're going to really see what they're going to do with Tiffany Stratton.
oh,
Um,
she's I'd say right now she's the odds-on favorite for the women's Money in the Bank match.
too soon to call, but maybe once Bailey is out of the damage control rivalry, maybe the first challenger to Bailey.
Well, it's going to be interesting because if I'm interpreting everything correctly, uh, uh, Jade Cargill might be in the way of that. Um,
I mean, maybe. I mean, you were dead set on her
I I
appeal.
really I really thought somebody was going to get taken out of the match, and it would have made a bit more sense if someone like Bianca was taken out of the match.
Well,
It's
I will say this: it was a decent match. Um, it was. I don't necessarily feel like ever since they changed from the original chamber to the baby proof chamber. The Elimination Chamber hasn't necessarily been memorable in any of its matches. It's kind of copy and paste at this point. Um,
the high spots are the same high spots.
right. Nobody's looking to do anything unique or interesting with it.
I
Um,
mean, is it? You can only watch plexiglass break so much, uh, and then also don't tell your friggin' audience that it's bulletproof.
but it is bulletproof, but it's not chain proof.
I mean, if it was bulletproof, nothing should get through it, including a human.
Well, you clearly haven't been thrown hard enough into bulletproof plexiglass to
No,
prevent one.
I just took a dive into a barbed wire table. Is all.
But was there plexiglass involved?
No, and it wasn't gimmicked barbed wire either. In fact, God, how many years ago? It's 14 years later. I'm still picking barbed wire out of my ass.
But that's for another reason completely.
Yes, I have pica, so um,
How many stars do you give this match?
I will give it 4.
It was pretty cut and dry. The right people got some shine. The right person won. Yeah, alright, I'll give it 4.
I will say I kind of hate the last 2 elimination rushing scenario. I mean, for the last 2 that are gonna be in there, give them some time. Give them time at the end of the match to work.
I mean, these were. Honestly, it's only 30 minutes. A little over 30 minutes. It kind of seemed longer than that.
I mean, you had Liv score basically the biggest elimination of the match,
That's right.
only only to get only literally 3 seconds later to get manhandle slammed and match over.
But then you would have the crowd being. You didn't want the crowd to turn on Becky for Liv. But you also wanted to keep Liv strong, if that makes sense.
What why does that sound like a bracelet slogan to me? Ah,
You don't know where I get my references from.
Live strong.
Alright, let's get into the next match. Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest successfully defended the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships against um, Pete Dunne and Tyler Masturbates. The new
The New Catch Republic, which I'm sorry, That's the stupidest fucking name for a team ever.
Yep.
First of all, in NXT, you've got the no quarter catch crew.
The fuck?
Yeah, Drew Gulak, Charlie Dempsey, Damon Kemp, and Miles Bourne.
I have no idea who these people are.
Really? Maybe Drew needs to make you a PowerPoint presentation.
Well, I know who Drew is, but I didn't know that Drew actually still wrestled. So
Yeah, and Charlie Dempsey actually just won the Heritage Cup from Noam Dar, who immediately went home and cried to Alicia Fox.
are they still together?
I don't think they ever were. I think Kalika just gave her too many Capri Suns.
Yeah. I thought he just went back into the Matrix.
Metaphor indeed. Like the new the new crotch republic. What was wrong with British strong style as a name?
It was their name on the independents, and things on the indies are ill. Bad indie, bad. Including indie hardware.
Yeah, that's another thing I'm kind of pissed off at.
What do you mean?
Yeah, okay, 4 matches, great. You could have gotten another match. You could have done a 6-woman tag. Yeah, with Bailey, Candice, Indy, and that way Indy can go over.
No. Then that would mean that Candice LeRae was on the actual card, and I'm very anti that. So I'm glad that it ended the way that it did. We completely got off track here. Um, Judgment Day versus the new kids on the block. What'd you think of the
Oh,
match?
this match sucked. I wish I hadn't stopped drinking. They. Why do I have a feeling that somebody backstage honestly thought that one of them was Australian?
You might not be wrong about that, but
And like, all right, yes, we're gonna have another. All right, here comes that Australian Pete Dunne. No. All right, here comes that Australian Tyler Bate. No. Finn Balor. No. Davey. No. Tom and Nick Mysterio.
and shout out.
I mean, so shout out to Austria.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something. When one of the most memorable things on this show is R-Truth screwing up.
Right. I didn't think it was a bad match. Maybe a little bit longer than it necessarily had to be, but I don't think any. It's a little tricky to get invested knowing that they wasn't going to win.
And yeah, this whole like mini feud. It probably didn't even need to happen. It felt like they were trying to establish Dunn and just establish Dunn and Bate as a solid tag team contender in the future.
Yeah, I kind of buy that. And in case you were wondering why the feed went dark during the match, that's because the crowd was giving Dominic Mysterio the finger and telling him fuck you. Just so you know. Um, only outdone by Finn Balor yelling at the crowd. That's not PG. Stop it. Um, yeah, and the other Finn Balor was very memorable in this match, but maybe for the wrong reasons, and that's his thumb. So yeah, how many stars do you give this one?
Um, I will give it the number of crabs Dom Mysterio has. I'll be nice, 3.
I give it one Finn Balor broken thumb.
Um,
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 in all
um,
seriousness,
um,
I think solid, low key solid match. So three three stars. Yeah. All right. Drew McIntyre won the Elimination Chamber for the World Heavyweight Championship contenders match for WrestleMania Extra Large. He defeated Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Randy Orton. Um,
hmm.
Once
Can,
again,
can,
pretty cut and dry. It was pretty
can you
obvious who was going to win. Um,
can you guess what part of the match I hated?
Logan Paul hitting Randy Orton with the brass knucks.
No, that was actually logical.
What part?
Are we to believe that AJ went all the way to Australia just to cost Knight the match?
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't he?
I mean, hey, the company wasn't paying for that ticket.
I mean, look at it this way. When he comes back to America, it's like he was never actually in Australia to begin with. You know what I mean? Because it's so far into the future. He actually gained 3 hours back of his life.
I hate that that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and the airport actually paid him money to go to
Oh,
Australia.
oh wait. We almost forgot the most important thing.
Yeah.
Um, this show was almost hijacked by pirates.
Kyrie Sane, yeah. She's a
No,
pirate!
no, actual like I'm the captain now. Pirates.
Um, what was that guy's name?
Uh, Captain Phillips. Yeah. I
Tom Hanks was supposed to be a part of the show?
they were for some reason they were transporting the chamber by boat,
That's right.
and they ended up sending that boat back to land and storing it onto a like a cargo plane because of pirate activity. And if they had gotten to it at that point, they would have been out in international waters, and there would have been nothing that could have been done.
Man, you could only hope. I hate that Hell in a Cell, that Elimination Chamber. I want them to go back to the original.
I mean, if they can take that first design and fit more cameras that they want. Also, by the way, microphones in the pods, stupidest fucking thing ever.
I mean, they're open, so it doesn't like.
No, but they actually said
Yeah.
this year we've got microphones in the pods, but yet no one's gonna talk because they've been told not to.
Right.
Like, you know what? I like to, cut off my nose to spite my face. Why not?
How about making them airtight pods?
Yeah. I mean, see, then we have to like paint them all blue, because then we have to decide whether or not they're faking it.
Well, that's a part of the match.
I mean, when you choke a Smurf, what color does it turn? So.
Mm.
See, what I would love, and this is something they actually did in the women's My Rise in 2K23, is they kept at least one of the pods hidden.
What do you mean hidden?
Like, it was blacked out.
Ooh,
You couldn't
okay.
you couldn't see into it. You didn't know who was in it.
I like that.
I think that's definitely something they should consider in the future.
100%. Once again, pretty cut and dry. Elimination Chamber match. Ode to Humanity. I will say that it was pretty hard hitting. I'll give them that. There was a lot of um, violence. And MVP of the night was definitely Logan Paul. I did not see that shit coming with him costing Randy Orton the match. It kind of pisses me off that we're going to see Logan Paul versus Randy Orton, obviously at WrestleMania. So yeah, but it was definitely an unexpected what the f moment.
Yeah, yeah, it was, but again, it's almost the same. It's almost the same kind of same finish as the women's.
Without I
You know,
don't
without
want to say
the manhandle
interference.
slam.
Without
Yeah,
the yeah, without the weapons. Yeah. I mean, Drew McIntyre and Becky also started at number one as well. So
see, you know what? That's why I think the War Games rules should apply. The match. Nobody can be eliminated until everybody is in the match.
that wouldn't be necessarily bad, I would say. It would make the
I,
Elimination Chamber a little bit more interesting.
or you know what? Start the match with 4 people and put 4 more people in the pods. Make it an 8-person elimination chamber.
I've always been a big that's always been a big thing for me. I always wanted to see that. So yeah.
I mean, they did the 7-person back in 2019.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they had that gauntlet, and Seth competed for legit about 67 minutes in that to determine the order. Um, Elias got that seventh spot, and the match started with uh, three competitors in the ring.
I mean, it goes to show you how memorable these Elimination Chambers matches have been in the past. That you don't exactly remember everything. I think that's the biggest problem. Um, how many stars you give this one?
I'm I'll be nice, 3.5.
I'll I'll match you with the 3.5. Purely the the half a star goes to Logan Paul for costing Randy Orton the match because that was just good shit that I did not see coming. So and it was logical. So all of it worked out for me. All right. And that brings us to the last match, the main event: Rhea Ripley defeating Nia Jax to retain the Women's World Championship in 14 minutes and 35 seconds. Um, Rhea's homecoming. Um, it wasn't a bad match, I'd say. Could have been a better match. Could have been more epic, but
I'm I'm surprised they didn't do more for her entrance.
yeah, they didn't. It was just it was just Rhea's homecoming, and there's not a lot more you could say about it.
You know, I'm surprised the crowd didn't work up a chant. Thank you, Danny.
Well, she's from Eastern Australia, and this was Western Australia. We don't know her that way. That way.
Now, if only there was an actual Australian state called Eastern Australia.
Oh well,
There is an actual, Western Australia. It's like West Virginia. It's Australia's unashamed inbred cousin.
I'm not going to get into geography with you. I don't have a map in front of me.
Well, you make sure you watch A&E Geography of Sergeant Slaughter this Sunday.
The fuck? Um, Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, thoughts, or do you just want to go into
I mean,
your
are
stars?
are they thoughts? Are they them hoes over there?
Will you stop it?
What you said thoughts? Naya's my boo. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that eventually Naya will marry me.
We all have dreams.
Well, unfortunately, this was a nightmare. Uh,
To put it lightly, yeah.
but you know what? Hottest moment of the match, the stink face. My home. I mean, this what? This is what? A little more than 13 or 16 minutes.
14 minutes.
Yeah. It, it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been the last match. It should have been main event. Or you should have had. You should have had Rhea go up against somebody that that could have given her a better match. That whole dynamic between Rhea and Nia, it doesn't really work on a as a big fight feel.
I don't know about that. I mean,
That dynamic of Nia is the bigger female, and is Rhea going to have trouble, lifting her again? I mean, let's also not, we can't forget that that they gave Nia the laziest finisher possible. The bonsai drop is the laziest finishing move ever.
tell that to Maxine Dupree.
Hey, Maxine could do that to me. I'll be going through my Pinocchio syndrome, and all she will say is lie to me, lie to me.
Will you stop it? How many stars do you give this?
2.5.
I give it 3. Was it the best match that it could have been? Probably not. Um, was it? Should it have gone on last? Probably, considering Rhea. Um, but yeah, I think it did what it needed to do, and that was put Rhea over. It did that. It was It was a success in my book. All right.
I would say that if Charlotte hadn't gotten injured, we would have gotten Rhea and Charlotte.
That's not a bad thought. All right. This show as a whole, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Thumbs down.
Thumbs in the middle. Not exactly like I said, pretty cut and dry. Nothing interesting came out of it that made me want to necessarily watch WrestleMania or get hyped for WrestleMania. Alright, and that will conclude our coverage of WWE Elimination Chamber.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.